We are there, we are there. Remember yesterday I had you saying, Pondea, where is Pondea? Rena Pondea. Okay. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? A good evening to you all, and welcome to yet another episode of the Sunday Talk Track at Plot 8B, Gabula Road, the Barrow House. What's up? Special shout out to the Bar House, the unofficial home of the Kara Junkies. They always give us the opportunity to be wild and be crazy and do the things that we love to do and come here and engage you guys in very, very awkward, sometimes useless, sometimes useful conversations. So we thank the Bar House for that. The Talk Track is an independent production of the Kara Junkies. It's produced, edited, sound mixed, and shot by Morris, aka Moro Moro, aka the man with the camera, aka the man with the sling, aka Mukono Moja, aka Can you woo woo woo. And as per usual, I'm Roy and I'm the host for the evening. You can call me the Alchemist. You can also call me Kamada. You can call me Muzafaru. You can call me Nofachi Neviensi. You can call me Achawa Giramanu. You can also call me the adoptive father of the Karabike. That's a new one. The Talk Track, obviously, being an independent production, we do not own any of the rights to the music you're going to be hearing playing in the background. That music, it's very nice and soulful music to get you into the Sunday. And we also do not own any of the opinions presented by the participants of the Talk Track. They do not represent the views of any entities affiliated with the Talk Track, that is the Kara Junkies and the Barrow House. Okay. That being said, we've had a long week. Some people are still paying the price of a very long week. By the way, just because the camera is being pointed at you doesn't mean I'm talking about you. But if you're feeling guilty that I am saying you've had a long week, and they are recording you now, if the camera is on you and you're feeling guilty that I said you had a long, it is okay. We all did. We all did. Barrow House, Friday we had the 90s themed party, which went back into the 90s a little bit. People had fun. A lot has been going on during the week. I think chief among everything has been all over Twitter. For those of you that are on Twitter, has been Iran, Israel, and you know who's on the right side and who is on the wrong side, and who is throwing bombs and who is receiving bombs. And Tel Aviv was trending on Twitter for a while. Tel Aviv is a small city in Israel. And I think Iran was just like, you know what? And a lot of people don't get it because the propaganda out there, and we all don't know the full story, right? The propaganda out there is Iran attacked Israel unprovoked, which I don't think anyone can just decide to throw bombs on your country unprovoked, right? And then to make matters worse, as the week moved on, I think Iran's nuclear facilities, some 3 nuclear facilities in some 3 towns in Iran have been officially demobilized. I didn't want to say exploded. They've been officially demobilized by the United States. So there was a coordinated attack for that. And I'm wondering, are we at the start of World War III? If that is the case, let us make more TikToks and dance challenges. You know, what is hilarious though is, I don't want to say that there is no sense of urgency, because I think people feel they feel the strife, they feel that tension. I think something really is about to happen. We pray to God that it doesn't, because I don't think where we are right now, obviously one of the biggest takeaways from a war is going to be economic depression. You people, I don't think where we are now we can handle another economic depression, not after COVID. So I think we can all feel that tension and that strife, but I think we've also become a generation and a group of people that, you know what, if it happens, it happens. Until it happens, for us, we're going to have a good time. So, yeah, but it's crazy. It's crazy, but we continue to pray for the victims of these incidences, whether they're in Iran, whether they're in Israel, whether they're in Ukraine, whether they're in Russia. We take peace for granted, and not everyone has that. So, yeah. We continue to pray for them. But again, 90s at the Barrow House as usual, followed by the queue list at the Barrow House. People danced. People danced like there was no tomorrow. You can never know. People were wooing here. It was serious. It was very, very serious. Today I came in and I was like, I think I need to take them on a journey and get a topic, and then we're going to talk about something very deep. But then going through Twitter, there is a lot of unpopular opinions that you see. And I like how they phrase all of them. Unpopular opinion, then someone gives their opinion. And by the way, I have someone that's very close to me that I think their best section in any social media platform is the comment section. The very first place they will go to is the comments. They will look at a post and then immediately just go to the comments. I'm like, are you there for the comments? You're there for the... But they love the comments, and the comments are usually very interesting because that's where you get a lot of sublime arguments. So today we're going to be discussing unpopular opinions. I'll just give you a couple of unpopular opinions that I've come across that seem very interesting, and you guys can give your take. Yeah, and I'll have some follow-up questions, obviously, right? But yeah, today let's talk about some unpopular opinions. Yeah. But again, allow me, a special shout out to the Barrow House, the unofficial home of the Kara Junkies. We do not take this for granted. All right. Unpopular opinion number one. We've had a lot of people, you've had it more often than not. People will say, apply for a job, you will land on job. Right? Like, you don't have to have all the skills, but just apply and you will land on job, which I think is I think most of us have done that. But someone, and they're not opposing that opinion, but their unpopular opinion is learning everything before starting is the fastest way to delay your growth. That's their unpopular opinion. Learning everything before starting is the fastest way to delay your growth. What do you guys think of that?
Agreed.
Okay, walk us through it. What's your thought process?
Even in our day-to-day experiences, if we're being honest, because learning something new, learning new ways, experience teaching you how to go about things differently, maybe this time, that is growth. Now, if you know everything, what are you going to learn?
Really?
You won't even be willing, because at this point you're like, I've mastered this, I've mastered that, that you won't even have the opportunity to be willing to maybe look at things differently. But I also think you can't know everything.
Of course.
You can't, even if you say they have 20 years of experience on this job. Someone new, some Gen Alpha, while we're at that.
Gen Alpha.
Is going to show up, and things are done. We do things differently. I think every generation has its way of looking at things and how they do it. And they're going to teach you a new trick. And you're like, no, this is not. And the thing is, usually we say, no, that is not how it's done. They're like, no, well, I'm doing it in a second.
Just to that. The way you've mentioned that, and artificial intelligence and AI is what has caused a lot of havoc in workplaces of late, because the newer generation, the newer workforce generation is so proficient with AI that everything seems doable, right?
Yes.
With the older professional generation claiming that, it's killing our skills and killing our creativity, and it's killing our thinking. But like you say, it doesn't matter how much of an expert you are at something new, whether you can control it or uncontrollable, like AI will come through and change the tide. But just, you're agreeing with that. What then happens? Because most people take that opportunity to learn as some form of preparation. You get? So wouldn't it then negate the fact that you're entering into a situation more prepared when you try to learn everything? Or should there always be room to take risks and experience, growth as you proceed?
But because I want to take this around also forth, but before we do that, in all honesty, you cannot convince me that you're going to learn everything. There is no way you're going to learn everything. Even AI that we are talking about has had its glitches. They go back to the drawing board. They're like, this AI needs to differentiate this and that. And that is why, and that's the problem. Like someone mentioned, we don't think anymore. We allow for AI. You find that even the young, or even us now that are using AI, we are not quite keen on seeing what product the AI has given. You know, you can tell there's certain spots you're like, this is AI. You know, lately you've seen clips now, like we're talking about social media, where legit someone is talking about something. It's a whole conversation. And then you realize there's a hand passing through where there are people who may not notice it. But I mean, if we are not involved as well, our minds are not actively, involved and engaging in whatever is going on. You find that there are kids doing their schoolwork or university work or research or whatever, and they still get. That's how we know that the people are using it, because no one is taking time to think, involve, go through it themselves, be a part of the process. But remember, you can never learn everything, because how I do my things is not how Kia does her things. So it might seem that this is how it goes, and then Kia shows up with a different strategy. I didn't know that part, okay? I might learn it. Growth.
So we're still discussing that unpopular opinion that learning or trying to learn everything before starting something is the fastest way to stunt your growth. And I like that the conversation of AI came in, because people are out there, man. You can't know everything, and there's always something new that is going to come up. We'll have a discussion about AI, I think, next week, in a couple of weeks' time, because I think it's a very, very interesting topic to dissect, especially in terms of critical thinking and how it has affected how we view things currently, right? Yeah. Okay, back to unpopular opinions. Unpopular opinion number 2 that I want us to discuss. Rowena, thank you so much for that one. And please feel free, if you have an input, just ask for the mic. If it doesn't work, throw your shoe at Morris. He'll send the mic to you. Unpopular opinion number 2. Over communication ruins relationships. Unpopular opinion number 2. Let's discuss that. Unpopular opinion number 2 is that over communication ruins relationships. Is that true? Is that false? Is that something you guys believe in? Is that something you agree with? Is that something you disagree with? Over communication ruins relationships. What is your take?
Yes, guys, good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I truly believe that over communicating is not a good thing. You have to leave some mystery in the relationship. You don't have to overindulge in sharing.
And why is that? Why? What is the importance of that mystery?
Let me see. If I think about it, when you share a lot, you open yourself up for attack in a relationship.
People are agreeing with you back here. You can't see it. You guys are shaking heads.
I can see what's going on. In any relationship, there is need for mystery. When there is mystery, there is fun in the relationship, But if you're an open book, it means the relationship is exposed for closure, Sometimes people believe that as a man, you have to share, but it's not true. You have to keep some things to yourself. You remain with that spark in the relationship. That's my view on that point.
Rowe, do you have anything to say about overcommunication? Actually, no. Let me first skip Rowena.
Yeah.
I want someone in the. Yeah, you can bring it to him. I want someone in the corner here, because the way he vehemently agreed. I want to hear what he has to say about that. Like, he was like, yes, man is making points. Overcommunication ruins relationships.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Eric Pacho. This is my second night of being at the Barrow House.
Yeah.
And, I saw the vibe yesterday. It was good. Mine is just to add on what he's just said. The topic of over-conversation, ruining relationships. Sometimes when you're too available for someone, it becomes an issue. The second point that you pointed out, where you open up yourself to someone. I'll use that example on me. I thought it would be a straight up relationship somewhere where I told someone, this is me, this is what I do, I hope you'll be there. When tables turned, the guns were pointed back at me. They said,
yeah,
you told me you had 4 baby mamas. Okay, give us the story. So I really appreciate. And I think Yeah.
They should
Over communication, being too available, being there spoils everything.
yeah.
Keep some mysteries for yourself.
I'd like to hear from a woman, because now all the men are like, we need that mystery, but the women might have a different opinion. I don't know.
That is why you saw back then, our great grandparents
Yeah.
would have those extra relations out, and you'd never know.
You find out at the burial.
Sometimes it would be a friend. This is Steven here. It would be Steven now having an affair with my wife behind my back. But there was no room for separation. Okay? So I would end up sending this child that Steven fathered with my wife. I'll end up sending that child and telling him, you go to Uncle Steven's place. He has a package for me. You bring it. You understand? So that package would be maybe school fees, maybe support. But we ended up having that closure. So thank you.
No, okay. Let me hear from the other gender.
Too much communication is not fun.
Sure, just put it out there. Okay, because from a male point of view, you get why, right?
Yeah, I mean,
we've grown up and we've always been told, someone told me one time, scarcity is value.
of course.
Yeah, you don't put yourself out there all the time, and that is something a lot of men have grown up with. Although sometimes then, I don't think we play our cards right. Yeah, because then we take that scarcity and then we cross a line, and then it
That
just
is
becomes
what I was
absence.
going to say. That's going to say, because communication should be there. That is a standard guarantee. There should be, yes. However, when we cross the lines from both ends, whether it's too much communication or very little to none, then there is a problem. Because quite often as human beings, like we talked about growth earlier on, I may not be the same person in 5 years. We've been together 5 years, I may not be the same person. My experiences, whether it's from work or friends or whatever, could help me adjust, or even our own experiences and how we deal with our issues, or how best we, So you find at the end of the day that I will need to have a way of letting you know that it's different. It may not be direct, hi, I'm different. But like when you communicate, sometimes someone will know this is different about this person. You will also know this is different about this person. Communication is in so many forms, not just by speech. It can be anything else, where you will tell that now this person is feeling a certain type of way. They may not have to say it, but the availability, they being there to acknowledge and see that, oh, today is not talking to me. Will you talk to me once in a while? What happened? And then you engage. But communication is key. If it's in extreme, first of all, I'm going to be like, we said hello a long time. Again, hello in the next second. Again, how are you doing in the next? I'm like, I need to do other things.
How is your day going so far?
Then again, a hand now, So, but then also, if there is no communication at all, it's another problem.
You start finding out about your girlfriend from your friends. Hey man, did you see your baby, man? She was there dancing on the stage. Man, I wasn't talking. You leave me alone. Over communication ruins relationships. But I like that we immediately jumped into romantic relationships. No one has talked about a professional relationship, a platonic relationship, even a familiar relationship. Do you think that the dynamic is the same across outside of romantic relationships? Do you think over communicating even professional relationships, over communicating in familiar relationships with your family, even with your friends, do you think then that still applies, that it will ruin that relationship? Because I used to have a boss in my previous workplace, and her key word was always over communicate. That was in a professional setting. She's like, always over communicate. Do not assume that what you're thinking in your head is what we shall all see. Put it all on paper. Tell me everything, whether it's interesting, whether it's boring, whether it's detailed, whether it's not, right? But over communicate. So in terms of romantic relationships, we've established, okay, yeah, maybe over communication. You lose that mystery. You lose there is that spark that dies with over communication. But let's flip the script now. Let's go to professional relationships, familiar relationships, and friendships. Is that still the case?
Okay, I think communication is a double-edged sword. What is even over communication? I think it becomes that when you're communicating in the wrong channel, where it's being not being received, that's when it becomes over communicating. Because sometimes even just saying hello to someone who is not interested in your communication, it will be too much for them. So I think we're looking at a point of protecting ourselves where we're saying, okay, what they don't know, they will not use against me. But communication, for it to be actually communication, the other person should be interested in it and they should be able to comprehend what you're saying and give you back feedback. Is it different in relationships and maybe in the workplace? Yeah, because in workplaces, we are looking at accomplishing something where you feel like when you don't communicate, you will affect very many people because very many people are working on the same project. So when you don't communicate, many people are affected. But in personal relationships, I think it's only over communicating if it's not being received well. If it was being received well, if all your hi messages 10 times a day were being replied positively, would you say it's over communication? No. Yeah, you don't have to. There's some information that is unnecessary depending on the situation, on the group of people you are with. I can't come here and start exactly stripping myself naked, like saying everything, like how you don't even know maybe my name. So that information is useless in that situation. Yeah, I'm called Kia.
Okay, yeah, that was lovely. That was lovely. All right. Yeah? Yeah, I'm switching to another unpopular opinion. And this I came through. Yeah, now this one is going to cause havoc. Unpopular opinion number 3. Music now is more impactful than music from back in the day. Someone posted that on Twitter. Music now is more impactful than music from back in the day. That was someone's unpopular opinion. What is our take on that? Rena just said unpopular. But they're saying that the artists now, or the musicians now, or the performers now, I think because of their reach, are getting like more impactful in terms of what they're putting out as opposed to the musicians back in the day. That is how I understood it. But they could have been different. It could have been something different. But if we're just to put it in like a general space, music from back in the day, they say that music now is more impactful than music from back in the day. What's your take on that?
Hello, everyone. Kyria here. Good evening. Yeah, so my take on that is, I think I disagree. I think it's popular. Like I would say, music now is less tasteful than music back then. And I'm not that old. Yeah? I'm just a music junkie. I listen to a lot of music. And I've come to notice that the music we used to listen to, the music we fell in love with, I used to be a big hip-hop, rap music junkie. Back in the 2010s when, the Lil Waynes and the TIs and everyone. Music then was, you could feel it. It was nice. So fast forward 10 years, that's 2020. Fast forward 10 years, it was different. Which guys we have now? We have the Young Thugs. We have the Fetty Waps. That music, I can't relate with. I can't vibe to. But listen, thing is, because I was born back then, I'm a 90s kid, I relate differently with the music now with a child that was born in the 2000s, say like the 2010s. They have a different kind of taste of music to mine. And you see, music is relative as far as appreciation is concerned. It's relative to a person. You may be born in the 2010s, but then listen to a track in the 90s and immediately fall in love. And you're like, oh, this music was nice. And then you start digging around for such music. Yeah? After some time, you even find yourself giving up on the music now. And you're like, this is the music I listen to. And it's a bunch of music. There's a lot of music I haven't listened to that's in the 90s, different artists, that I'm just discovering right now. So to say that some people don't think that there is a difference in taste in music now and then, to me, I think it's popular. Like, I think you can say it's popular because I'm sure you feel the same way. I think she can say the same. I think you can say the same. Like everyone in the room. We no longer have the frigos. We lost radio. You know? We no longer have music like that right now. I mean, it's not that bad, it's different. So to me, it's like a no-brainer.
It's a whack and popular opinion.
You get?
I would say I like that you use the term popular. I would say, and piggybacking off what you just said, I would say, and not just music, even the movies, even art in general, just from back then. A lot of people say, oh no, people watch more movies now. Well, you have for every one movie that is released, you have 18 streaming services. That is not a statistic. That's not a true statistics. I just made that up. But that, it's a lot of streaming services. So I think what we're experiencing now with art in general is there is vast popularity. And so we mistake that popularity for impactfulness, right? But all these things that you're having access to, Tyler Perry releases a movie every year. How many of those do you remember? See?
Straw and what?
Yeah?
Straw and which one?
Acrimony.
Yeah.
Big that Madea thing. Right? So I think art now, yes, more popular. We have a lot more access to it, right? But in terms of impact, I would agree with Kyria in the sense that what people did back in the day has laid the groundwork for what is being done now. It's just that there is a lot more access to what is being done now than there was back in the day, right?
Yeah, just to add on that, I think the issue now is something to do with there's a lot of demand, first of all. And then there's also the other factor about it being economical right now, like it's too economical. Back then, an artist could release an album like, say, today, 2025, then it would take him like 5 years to release another. At least 3 years. Nowadays, like every year, there's an album.
Yeah, they even start demanding.
Every year there's an album. And you see, with music, why I would say it's different with like movies, is you will live with the music every time you listen to music. Yeah, it's unlike movies. It's not every time that you're watching a movie.
Yeah,
you have to actually set a mood for a movie. There are people. I do movies. I have a movie library. Yes, on Main Street. Sorry if
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so yeah, so I'll get a client like today, and then see them after that in like 2 months, 3 months. And then when they come that time, they'll tell you, I haven't watched a single thing in that time. I didn't have the mood. I was busy, but those are just excuses. You can't say you were busy for a movie. No, you can always get the time to watch a movie. But the thing that I take from that is the mood part is genuine. Now, that's not an excuse. It's not. You actually have to set a mood for a movie. So, but music, it's an everyday thing. It's a personal thing. It's part of you. Like I said, if you're a junkie, like if you're a music junkie, you have to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Mamuli the masterclass.
Thank you.
You guys had a masterclass. Thank you so much for that, Kyria. I don't know. I don't know if anyone. Do you want to add? Do you want to subtract? Do you want to add? It's okay. Yeah. The unpopular opinion is music from back in the day is more. Sorry, music now is more impactful than music from back in the day. That's the unpopular opinion.
I would like to add something to what Kyria has said. Now it's more of business than message. Impactfulness, actually, I think it means, if you put it in simple language, it's all about message. Right now, people are chasing money rather than the message, When you try to make music that is impactful or has a message, you're considered to be lame. People are looking for bangers. They're looking for, how can I put it, for that high within that minute, They're looking for hits. So someone is going to make like 30 songs within a year. 30 songs within a year. Can you imagine? They are looking for that banger. They want to make quick money. They're not willing to put in the work. They're not willing to spread the word like it was back in the days, That's the difference between music for now and back then. That's what I can add on. Yeah.
People.
Okay, so I agree totally. And of course, I know these are people who are also really into this thing. Here's the thing. By impact, what were they trying to say? Or insinuate even? Because yesterday someone shared with me a list of what they called, I think it's the Billboard, something that came up with a list of the most something artists. I think, R&B artists.
Wait,
I was frustrated.
The list where R. Kelly
R.
was
Kelly
number
was
9.
number 9. I
Oh,
was like,
yeah. R&B artists, yeah.
And I'm like, you guys, hold on.
Billboard Top 100
And
R&B
they're saying
artists.
they considered culture and impact. And some artists were not R&B, they were soul. Yes. So I laughed and said, this is where we've reached. It's like we have a group of people who just sat and talked about their favorite people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So impact, if we're saying impact, that unpopular opinion is indeed unpopular. Because you cannot convince me that today, I'm not going to repeat what I did last week, but there's one person that keeps coming.
You don't just what?
I don't just because in all honesty, if we're being honest, the music back then was everything was thought through. When the drums came in, you knew now this is, even the movies, when they would start the drums or something, you're like, action has started. They set the tone and mood for you. Today, you're helping yourself set the mood. You can go through movies and just keep looking. You're like, no. And they have beautiful titles, by the way. And then midway, like 1 minute, 2, you're like, I'm not going to watch this thing. It's not for me. So there's no way it's more impactful. In terms of reach, yes, they have reached. But impact, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, lovely. That one seems to have touched a lot of. We've discussed 3 unpopular opinions so far, and that one seems to be the one that has, that and the over communication in relationships. But yeah, I love that there is a shared consensus for certain things. All right, unpopular opinion number 4 that I want us to explore. Unpopular opinion number 4. But before we go to the 4th unpopular opinion, let's first talk about that Billboard list for like a minute. For those of you that had access and were able to see the list, yeah? For those of you that had access and were able to see that list, what was the takeaway? In about a minute, what was the takeaway? Like, it was created by Morris says it was created by a Gen. My producer, by the way, says that list was created by a Gen Z. Perhaps AI. But okay, so what were the metrics that were used? Was it like,
those are the questions you ask yourself.
like sales? Was it
There
how
were
many
no criteria.
albums?
There was no criteria.
So the list was a travesty to say.
Yeah, it was a travesty. What I can say is, the first thing I saw, because before I got the whole list, I saw it in a tweet, and it was quoted. Like this guy said, R. Kelly at 9th. Do we really know 8 R&B artists better than R. Kelly? I mean, like, he can stay in jail for as long as he can, But musically, my God, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. The only person I could maybe put above him is probably Stevie Wonder. What he's done for music in general. Eh? He's probably inspired R. Kelly as an artist as well. Yeah? But the other artists, the Beyoncés and everyone, come on.
Yeah? So, in simple terms, I like the opinions. That
I don't remember the other names, but some of them were not even R&B artists. I saw Aretha.
Wait, Etta James has...
Respect to Aretha Franklin, but...
Etta James R&B?
No. She is not.
Well, I need to look at the list
because I'm not soul queen. Soul.
I have not yet exhaustively looked at the list, but we'll look at that list and even my God,
it's there, but MJ is pop. So it's really not even something to talk about. It's just a travesty.
The list was created.
And I'm a music junkie, remember? I know.
The list was created by AI. The list was created by Gen Z. It is clearly. There is a land Gen Z and a confused. Gen Z are just catching strays right now. Okay, unpopular opinion number 4. Unpopular opinion number 4. We all have, we all know that bad habits, what people would refer to as a bad habit, right? Overindulgence, let's say in drugs or alcohol, could be a bad habit, or, and all that stuff. Now, someone tweeted that bad habits stem from losing hope for a better future or of a better future, right? That is their unpopular opinion, that your bad habits or bad habits generally within community stem from a loss of hope in the future. What's our take on that?
Maybe and maybe not. Yeah, there's people when they lose hope, like we said, living is having hope. That is how we live. That is why we are living. Because we're expecting a tomorrow, whichever way, we have hope. But also at the same time, there's so many factors. It could be your genes, DNA. It could just be your weird, God made you like that. It could be a lot of things, okay? It could be how you were brought up. It could be, there's so many things. It could be your friends. It could be anything. But I am leaning towards, yes, it can do that to you. I've seen people who have lost hope when they lose a lot of things, when they lose people, when they lose money, when they lose friends, when they lose... Like, by losing, I mean, like, general day-to-day life, where it may be your work, they've demoted. You can even get a promotion by the name the money has not increased. That is loss of hope. It could do that to anyone. All of us, when you're going through something or dealing with something, you might end up behaving a certain way that you would not necessarily do on a normal day-to-day. Everyone will be like, is that Kia? Is that so-and-so? No, it happens. So I'll lean into a 50, but it's not entirely why.
Yeah.
There's so many factors.
All right.
I did read somewhere that when a person loses hope in the future, they believe that nothing good is going to happen. So they live on the edge. They live fear of actually seeing another day than they fear dying. So I think this is the bad habits that are coming is when actually people are trying to escape that reality. Like you don't see anything good happening. So they would rather be like, what am I doing here? So the bad habits is like you're trying to take yourself out, but the universe has refused. It's like you stay here. So I think that's where I would relate that to.
No outlets, eh? We're all here in the struggle. You will go when your time is there. Not a minute before, not a minute after. Yeah, Kirio.
Yeah, so what I can say is the way I think about it, it's like nature and nurture. Eh? When I say nature, like nature, what I mean is she talked about genes, and I happen to actually agree. Eh? Some people have a predisposition to certain, habits, certain behaviors. You find yourself doing something and you don't know why you're doing it. Eh? It's like that's what your genes say. Eh? And then about nature, they actually go hand in hand. Eh? With nature, it's like where you grew up, eh? And that's mostly true. Eh? Where you grew up, who grew you, eh? You get?
Yeah.
So it's the communities that we grow up in, the people we stay around, the peer pressure and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's about losing hope, though it's also part of it. Mm-hmm. But when you grow up around people that are understanding, people that are reasonable, they could actually see that here and there maybe you've lost hope, and then you can come into hope. You get?
Yeah.
That way, the road that was maybe paved for you to go a certain way, like to take a left, you lucky enough you may end up taking a right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just the way you react to the people around you. That's mostly what brings about a person, like doing bad habits, like you told them.
So, yeah, but I think, and I agree with what I think everyone has said. Losing hope in the future, yes, like Kia pointed out, there is a certain way, especially if it's deep seated. There's a way in which it will affect you. Like she said, you start to live on the edge. You're really just begging. You're like, take me out. It is okay. Take me out. I have nothing to lose. But again, and I like that you brought up, nurture and nature. There's a lot of factors that play into what we eventually concede as our bad habits, right? Someone from the United States is not going to have more likely the same bad habits as someone from Uganda, right? Those are two different communities. Now, them losing hope, yeah, it could be that could be a commonality because everyone needs hope to live, like Rowena said. But them losing hope could be the commonality. However, the way they react to the loss of that hope could be very, very different in both communities. So yeah, I get that. I do agree with you guys. This one, it's a 50-50. It cannot be just brought down to one simple thing. I'm not saying that loss of hope is a simple thing, but it can't just be brought down to that one small thing. There are a lot of variables that can be factored in when it comes to people actually getting bad habits. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for that one. Now, final unpopular opinion. The family we choose is often better than the family we are born in. And when we talk about the family that we choose, it's the people you have around you, your gangos, your people, your circle, your blood, right? The way we say, my brother from another mother, all that. Most people have, and this one, it had a lot of reactions. That's what I want to get from you guys. Family we choose is often better than the family we are born into. What's your take on that?
I believe that one is a hard one. It's a very hard one to crack, because you can choose the wrong family. That is one, You can choose the bad influence, bad friends, people that are going to lead you astray, and you can have a good family. At the same time, you can choose a family that is good for you, that is going to uplift you. You have friends, you have a group or a circle of people that you're hanging around that are going to push you forward, and you find that, again, your family is pushing you backwards, So I believe for that point, it's vice versa. Basing on my opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I believe. Because it depends on what you choose, the people that you are moving with. But for the family part, you cannot choose the people that you're going to be with. You cannot choose your brother. You cannot choose your sister. It is a must. It happens by nature. So you have nothing to do about it. So you have to cope with the people that you are born with. You understand? But for the family that you choose, you have the opportunity to select the people that you want to make your family. So basically, for the family part, I believe it is not in your control.
Yeah.
But for the family you choose, you have the opportunity to select the people that you want to make your family.
My thing was, when I actually read that tweet, is
Yeah.
what did they mean by better? Better in what sense?
I think it's in a general sense. Because better is in a general sense.
Yeah.
Overall, financially, spiritually, motivationally, it's in overall. That's what they are talking about. You know, you can have a family that is detrimental. You can have brothers that have gone off the rails, you know, and they're pushing you into the dark side. You understand? You're getting my point?
Thanos.
So basically, it is overall. That's what I believe, or that's what they're trying to mean, you know?
Okay.
But on my take, you cannot choose the people that you are born with, but the family, you can choose. These are the relative, like friends, you know, that you bring in close. You have the ability to choose those people.
Yeah.
But family, you cannot. It's impossible.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know whoever said that. In some instances, yes, some people probably go through the toughest of times with their siblings, with their homes. And the only reason they see hope is the friends that they get to have, the people who help them, you know, go through certain things, the people who are basically there. But when you think about it also at the same time, we are human beings, okay? Even the family you choose sometimes. You see, because now here you've chosen, you have to decide, am I sticking to this? Am I, you get
Yeah.
Because we can't keep changing the family. Also, every time, every year, like, no.
New family. No, you served your purpose, please.
As much as you can choose it, I think we need to also realize that we are human beings, okay? So, and it is true for most people as well, that family has probably not been the best. So many people will give that, and you will be surprised how many people will say, family hasn't been the best for me.
Yeah.
But I've found a family in friends that have come, because these are people who, you know, usually you make friends that you connect with about something. So that's why the saying is as old as it is, birds of the same feather. If someone's going to get you. It's like meeting people, your clansmen, your people. That this is because they'll get you as much as you will get them. That is how we make friends, because something must definitely bring you together. Family you don't choose, but I think also the baseline, we are human beings. So that family that you're choosing also, are you willing to at least try with it? It can't just be about you, you know. It's family, so all of you have to have a win-win in this one.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's get one final insight on this one.
Well, thank you once again. One thing I know is the family where you're born, there you belong automatically. Okay? You belong automatically, irrespective of your bad habits that we discussed earlier.
That may or may not stem from a loss of hope.
Yes. And then the friends, the other family that we choose, those are the friends, the workmates, and everything. It is through connection that we meet them. Someone will help you somewhere, they'll raise a bar for you, you're not there, and they'll say, you know what, Stephen is a very good guy, he's good in this, and they uplift you. Whereas your family, we all be fighting our battles. The family you belong, we have battles that we fight, and everyone is there not wanting to be at the top. Someone will say, no, Maurice is the CEO. I also want to be like him.
Yeah.
But instead of him going to learn how he reached there, they turn to juju, they turn to, you know. So we have forgotten to learn, and we have forgotten to love. In a family.
Maurice, have you had that one?
Thank you.
We have forgotten to learn, and we have forgotten to love, especially in our family units. My God, I'm putting that on a t-shirt. Remember how to love and learn.
Actually, at one point, I bought a car. And the slogan I put on that car was "Go be love."
Okay. Let us break it down a little bit in a minute because we're almost out of time. But now, considering your words of wisdom are just simmering like this, are very hot, you're going to close us out. So, what inspired that, and what is the message that we can get from that slogan you put on your car?
The inspiration doesn't stem from far. I've been down. At least his key witness. I come from a very humble family, but through thick and thin, I've worked in a workshop, I've worked in a garage, I've done all those crazy things. But at the end of the day, I met an old man who told me, "Twali tubalabyeko." You understand? You've come out of there. You may grow all those wings, but we have seen them before you.
Yeah.
And they are no more. And what have they left? Nothing. So go be love is, I don't have today, you have. He is looking for a job, he doesn't have a job, I have the connection, I'll push him. You never know where he'll meet me again.
Yeah.
And say, this is the person.
Yeah.
So that is it. Just share love, and it's the best thing.
On that positive note, I've shut down everyone else. The talk track is ending here. No, but thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for this. I think what inspired this was we all have opinions, and I often tell one of the things I live by is an opinion is not a statement of fact. An opinion is usually shaped by perception and experience, right? How we could all look at that fridge the same way, but my opinion of that fridge is going to vary very, very differently from Kiria's opinion, from Maurice's opinion, because that experience, and I pick a fridge because it seems like a very inanimate object, but your experiences with a fridge, my experience with the fridge and Maurice's experience with the fridge could be something totally different.
Actually, you've gone to a very bigger object.
Yeah.
If I wake up today and go to that class and write 3, okay?
Yeah.
Stephen on the other side will see boobs.
Stephen will see boobs.
Yeah, someone.
Stephen.
It is an opinion. It is an opinion.
It is not a statement of fact.
Another person will see 3. Another will see W.
Yeah.
It is all mixed up.
Yeah.
Another one will see M.
Yeah.
If you write 9, someone will see 6. Someone will see 9. Someone.
Stephen, we've already established that you'll see boobs. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Yeah, but again, I know actually that's something that a lot of psychologists use. You know that when you draw the 9 in the ground and then you see it from both. So yes, opinions are not statement of fact. Opinions are shaped heavily by our perceptions and our experiences, and it is good to have them. The thing that we shouldn't do, and this is something that we have become so adapt to doing these days, is forcing our opinions on people. Yeah, let us agree to disagree. I don't have to see everything the way you see it, okay? Because that's what makes us thrive as society, as a community, is our differences, okay? How I watch soccer may not be the same way you watch soccer. Yeah? I like United. Why? Don't ask. But, things like that. So having an opinion is necessary for you to go through life. But that opinion should not be forced on someone else, right? It's your way of perceiving what is happening around you. But then also, go be love, people.
Before you close.
Yeah.
Before you close, I want to go back to this bottle. Yeah?
Uh-huh.
We are all seeing a bottle.
Yeah.
It is a Guinness bottle.
Stephen has suffered today.
It is a Guinness bottle.
Yeah.
If you go back to the production of Guinness, they were producing normal beer. Okay? But at one point, the production team, I think either they slept or they forgot to time the roast, the time of the roast.
Yeah.
And it got burnt. The least worker in that company, because the company said, we can't use this, let us dispose it off.
Yeah.
He picked a few beans and tried it out, But when he took it to the chairman loved the smell of
of Guinness.
Of
what came out, of the brew.
And that's how Guinness came about.
Mamanza.
So, going back to that.
You people are taking burnt alcohol from a mistake. Guinness came from a mistake.
So, going back to that, the opinion, you talked about opinions. Going back to that, they expected this to come from the chief chemist. But where did it stem from? The lowest person down. So let's always pick a leaf from
the story of Guinness.
Very true.
Now I can stop. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. This has been really interesting, getting your thoughts on things like this. We'll be here again next Sunday, as per usual, starting at 9 p.m. The TalkTrack is an independent production of the Cara Junkies. It's produced, edited, sound mixed, and shot by Morris, One Man Army, aka Unilateral DJ. Because he has only one hand, he's a unilateral DJ. And I am the host with the most. My name is Roy. You can call me the Alchemist /Kamada. We'll see you all next Sunday. All of you, go be love. Have a peaceful week. Have a fun-filled week. And we'll catch up again on Sunday. Peace out and thank you so much.